Stephanie Roden leapt from her desk and hurried out to the playground of Briar Ridge Elementary School, her cloud of curled black braids bouncing around her head. The end of recess bell had startled her out of her lesson planning and sent an unsettling rush of adrenaline through her. 20-minute recesses were great for the kids, but horrible for the teachers, giving just enough time to switch into a task, but nowhere near enough time to finish it. She shoved her arms into her black jacket, then gathered her composure as she pushed through the doors into the unseasonably cold spring air. Several of her kindergartners already waited on the strip of grass where the class gathered. She pulled out her whistle, gave 3 sharp tweets, and watched the little heads spin and run toward her. She smiled as they lined up, their faces cheerful and eager to please, as she gently guided them into formation. Such little angels, all of them, even if they had moments where they acted like little devils. Lively spirits were important, she liked to remind the trainee teachers who occasionally worked with her. You want to channel their beautiful spirits, not break them. She moved down the line, tapping each head playfully as she went. 1, 2, 3, 14, 15, 16. 16, not 17, as there should be. Someone was missing. She glanced back over the playground. Empty, except for Jim Carnegie, the 3rd grade teacher, and Karen Phelps, today's parent volunteer, each walking with lollygagging stragglers. Everything was fine, she reminded herself. Someone had probably just gone to the outside bathroom without asking one of the 2 adults to take them. She ran through her class roster in her head. Nicole Marchant, she realized, and a tendril of fear gripped her. Nicole was the missing child, and it wasn't like her to go missing. She was quiet, cooperative, and never a troublemaker. She'd never go to the bathroom alone without permission. She looked back at her students and kept her voice light. Does anyone know where Nicole is? They looked at one another and shook their heads. She waved Karen over. I can't find Nicole. Do you know where she is? No. Karen's huge blue eyes widened, and her blonde ponytail bobbed as her head whipped to scan the playground. Are you sure she didn't already go in? She might have, Stephanie said, but she knew she hadn't. Can you stay with them while I go check? Of course. Karen turned to the children and started them singing the Hokey Pokey. Stephanie waited until she was out of the view of the other children to break into a sprint. She checked her classroom, but it was empty. She checked the big girl and big boy bathrooms, but they were empty too. She bolted back out to the yard, then slowed to a walk, shaking her head as she passed to let Karen know she hadn't found Nicole. With a practiced power walk, she surged down the midway of the playground calling Nicole's name, hoping to find her crouched behind something, lost in her own private game. She followed the perimeter of the yard back toward the school building, bobbing and weaving, to check behind the jungle gyms and the utility sheds. They were all abandoned and secured. Her heart thumped in her chest. She slipped around the corner and down the 10-foot wide space where the chain-link fence ran parallel to the school building, ending at the back entrance to the cafeteria. Her fear morphed into panic as she sprinted toward the dumpster enclosure near the door, because the brown gate that fronted the red brick enclosure was ajar. She called Nicole's name again as she yanked it fully open and found nothing, except a few errant lettuce leaves on the pavement between the 2 dumpsters. She dashed to the side of the left dumpster, just to be thorough. Nicole's crumpled body lay sprawled in the back corner, head covered by her puffy blue jacket. At the principal's instruction, Karen Phelps led the kindergartners into Ms. Roden's classroom. As the last one filed in, she glanced up and down the corridor. Once she confirmed it was empty, she reached into her jacket pocket and slipped out her phone.
No phones allowed in the classroom!
One of the boys shrieked and ran toward her. She pushed it back into her pocket and stepped inside the room.